Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Dishonored. I know the mic is working this time. One person requested a restart. I don't think I'm going to do that because the truth is you didn't miss a whole lot of commentary. I'll repeat the important things that I said right here. I really like this game. It's not quite as good to me, but at least if you choose to play it the way I'm going to choose to play it, it's about the closest thing to a real proper Thief sequel we've ever gotten since Thief 3. We're playing on very hard. We're going to go for low chaos, which means we're going to be mostly non-lethal. You can kill guards if you want to, but there are two reasons I don't do that. The first is that killing guards raises the chaos level, which ultimately leads to more plague rats and more plague victims and makes certain parts of the game harder because of it. And second, if you have high chaos, you get a bad ending. And third, much like I did in Thief, if you listen to the City Watch, they aren't bad dudes, they're just dudes who are doing their job and don't know any better. So we're going to try for low chaos and we're going to try to keep them alive. I do not know this game nearly as well as I know Thief, which is why we're going to go ahead and choke out and knock out most of the guards, because my emphasis, at least on a first playthrough, is going to be finding everything. I may try for a stealthier playthrough after this one. We'll see if I still feel like playing more. Other than that, I think that's just about everything you need to know. We made it through the intro where Empress Jessamine was killed, and we made it out of Cold Ridge Prison and into Dunwall sewers, and that's where we're going to pick up. Finally, I apologize if my voice sounds off. I am a little bit sick. You'll notice, well, you probably can't tell because there could be anything in this mug, but today's drink of choice is a nice cup of hot tea followed by a water bottle. There will be no alcohol today in today's episode. For fugitive, you have escaped Cold Ridge Prison with the help of hidden allies. If you can reach the Wrenhaven River, they promise to aid you in your next move. So here we are. We're in stealth mode. So that goes back to the prison. We're not going to do that. The outsider walks among us. So
Use some kind of explosive to blast his way out. It doesn't happen by accident.
So this is something else that I mentioned in commentary in the first video. The rats. The rats are not a threat when they're alone or they're in small groups. They won't attack, they'll just run away. But if you look through this gate, you'll notice a full swarm of rats. Now, if we were to get exposed to that, they would chew our health away very, very, very quickly. You'll get a demonstration of that in a few moments.
Gang, maybe. Watch for booby traps. Could be some down here by the look of it.
Good. If we're lucky, one of them will get Corvo.
You're afraid of him? He's Sir Conan. It's all merchants and whores down there.
Kids like you never saw what he was like. I saw him fight 3-1 in the practice yard. He's a whirlwind.
I hope it's me that finds him.
I hope it is too.
Note from a friend. Corvo, if you're reading this, it means our plan worked and you've broken free from Cold Ridge. One of our contacts has hidden weapons for you somewhere deeper in the sewers. Grab the gear and find Samuel where these tunnels dump out into the river. He will bring you to us. A friend who will meet you soon. New note added to your journal. City of Dunwall Waterworks. So we're going to want to climb over all this. I mentioned earlier too that generally if I'm at full health I'm going to leave food alone just so I have the option of running back and grabbing it if I needed to. So now watch below us as we sneak. So the guards got a couple of the rats, but then the rats very, very quickly took them down and devoured the bodies. So that's the game's very nice tutorial way of telling you to avoid big groups of rats. Now that door's locked and we can't get in. Dunwall Water District main drain. No one will keep us from death. You cannot kill the rat plague. Rats are eating our babies. City of Dunwall, Lacqua Boulevard. Now there's another group there. What we want to do is get in the water and swim past them so they don't mess with us. Blood from the eyes, no trespassing. So we got a couple of corpses here. Died in each other's arms. Let's read Damien's journal. Amanda and I only had enough coin to buy half the elixir we needed. Even that's all gone now, and there's nothing to do but wait. We're very sick, and there's no place above to hide from the city watch. They're breaking into houses all over our district, so we'll stay here and share the last hours together. Our fire will keep the rats away, but they'll inherit this city. Damien. Warning, possible sewage overflow during heavy rain. Outsider walks among us. Okay. So now we've arrived at this crank wheel with a corpse stuck to it. First, we need to remove him from the crank wheel. Before we leave, I almost missed it, but over here there are 2 coins of 5 and 1 coin, which should bring our total to 411, and it does. Excuse me. Now let's keep going. So there's more food over here, but nothing really important. So you can see in this room there are some bodies and there's another group of rats.
Aren't we supposed to load the bodies into carts headed to the flooded district?
Over there is a crank that we need to turn in order to get out of the room. So what the game is kind of trying to clue us into here is we need to distract the rats with a body so that we can open the crank while they're chewing on it.
Yeah, screw that. That's too far. I don't want to catch the plague. You? No.
Doesn't the elixir prevent it?
Maybe. Either way, let's just dump them down there. Let the rats eat them.
So you have time to get to the middle platform while they're chewing on that first one. And now what you want to do is throw it as far away as you can. They didn't even spot it. So I guess we can kind of daisy chain them. Now that should be enough. Once we hop over that, we're safe.
Attention Dunwall citizens. The assassin Corvo, responsible for the murder of our fair Empress and the disappearance of Lady Emily, heir to the throne, has temporarily escaped state custody. Any evidence as to his whereabouts must be delivered to the City Watch at once.
Alright, so there's not really anything in this area. Climb chains by jumping onto them or pressing F when near. We'll do that, but there's a rat skewer here, and more importantly, there's a pouch with 20 coins inside for a total of 431. So let's climb it up. And hop off up here. Now here we've got 1 coin of 5 and some copper wire, which is worth 10. On this shelf, we've got another copper wire, a coin of 5, and a single coin. That should bring our total to 462. Excellent. Next, we want to jump right into this water, where we can loot this corpse for a pouch with 20 more coins on it. So if you look in here, you will notice a tripwire. If we hit the tripwire, the trap will actually trigger. But if we can get to the trap without triggering it, we can actually disarm it and take the ammunition for ourselves. That's usually preferable. So we're going to want to hop up this catwalk and head back here to the projectile launcher, which we can disarm and loot for an incendiary bolt. Back here we've got a Sokolov's Health Elixir. We have a pouch of 50 coins, a coin of 10, 2 coins of 5, and a single coin, which should bring us to 553. Now we can hit the tripwire. Won't hurt anything. We head this direction, over to this mattress. There's a pouch with 25 and 4 single coins, bringing our total to 582. Now, if we hop up here, we can disarm and loot another projectile launcher for another incendiary bolt. That one was tied to this tripwire right here. Which allows us up onto this catwalk. To the Lord Protector. Greetings, Corvo, or should I say Lord Protector, as you were known before that title was wrongfully taken from you. We are servants of the Empire and of the true Empress, a group of loyalists who want very much to meet you. Take these weapons crafted for you of the finest materials in the Isles, and meet with our man Samuel near where these tunnels spill into Wrenhaven River. All haste and luck, we share a common purpose. So we can get our special equipment. Press J to read the Quick Access Wheel tutorial. Equipping weapons and powers. Press and hold middle mouse to open the Quick Access Wheel. Select the gadget or power you want to equip in your left hand and release the middle mouse to confirm. Assign a hotkey to a weapon or power by selecting that item in the Quick Access Wheel and pressing any shortcut key. There are 10 shortcut keys. You can reconfigure the bindings and the options. So right now we've got a crossbow with incendiary bolts, crossbow with regular crossbow bolts, crossbow sleet darts, and our pistol with regular bullets. I say we keep regular crossbow bolts for now. And we got a cooler, spiffier sword. Alright, so here to the left of the trunk, there's a pouch of 5 coins. And right here, there's a corpse with another pouch of 10 coins, which should bring our total to 597. So in here, we've got 2 coins of 5 and 2 hemlock essence, which are 20 each, bringing our total to 647. Oh yes. Escape the sewers to meet a new ally. So in case it wasn't obvious, the big advantage of the crossbow over the pistol is that it's silent. You've used Dunwall's sewer gate key. Press C to slide while sprinting. So the game is kind of cluing us into how to get past this booby trap. We can slide under it to avoid hitting the tripwire. That'll allow us to get to the launcher and get ourselves another incendiary bolt. Now we'll hit the tripwire. Jelly's share. Jelly. In case you're too daft to remember, look to your whiskey for the answer. Whiskey. Got it? If you want your share, you'll sort it out. If not, I'll come back for it next month. So we've got a safe here, but we don't know the combination. Right behind it, though, we've got a sign that says Dunwall Whiskey and a bunch of bottles. And since all these people worked on System Shock, they keep the old first combination tradition. You can see that the combo is 4-5-1. So we turn the tumblers out here. And when we're done, we get to open up, we get a Sokolov Health Elixir and the Moray Jewel Box, worth another 50, bringing our total to 697. Eventually I'll be spending money, and so I'll kind of lose track of the total, unfortunately, but let's keep going.
You won't get past me, sir.
Do you know who we're hunting here? Don't try to take him out alone.
But what if no one from the squad is around?
Then try to make a lot of noise when you die. Knock something over if you can.
Bastard.
Alright, so we got another health elixir, and inside this cabinet there's some processed whale oil, which is worth 30, bringing our total to 727. If everything went well, and it did.
Weeper in here.
Before leaving, let's pop in here. There's a pouch of 20 coins and some medicinal herbs worth 20, bringing our total to 767. And now, after a nice long break, we've got some guards to deal with. So I'm going to make an anchor save.
They come here to die sometimes in the dark. Just slip into the water, don't come out.
Let's keep our eyes open. See, we got one here. He's got 10 coins for us. And we unlocked an achievement called Thief. 1 out of 80, 1%. Pickpocket items worth a total of 200 coins. There are 3 more guards to deal with. So let's sneak on down and have a look. Oh, didn't time it right. No, I don't want to drop assassinate anybody.
That's it, furry felt.
Alright, let's try again. And let's carry him back here with his buddy. I forgot to check exactly how many coins he had. It was 5. So far, so good. 2 guards left to deal with.
You should pay. They'd smell you from here.
Blow off.
He had a coin of 25. Or a pouch of 25 coins, rather. Bring him back to hang with his bros. Now let's go get the last one. Shit, I should have watched his patrol. I bet I can get to him in time. And he had a coin of 10. He was the last one. We'll take him back with his buddies too. With all 4 of their purses, our total should be 817, and it is. Outstanding. Alright, now let's look around this room. We got some food here, but we don't need it. I'm gonna kill these 2 rats. Just doing my part to help stop the spread of the plague. So look over there to that boarded up doorway. You'll notice it's not really letting me get rid of them. They keep respawning. Guess we'll just have to deal with that. So let's head through here. We can break the boards. So here's a dead hermit's note for us to read. It's here by the Wren Haven I'll make my last home. It stinks to the void, but my grandmom's hagfish stew will drive the odor away. I remember sailing out on this river to the great ocean, that vast blinding light and blue water. I was a tender 15, and our nets were always full to bursting. The old days, before everything went to shit. Any way it goes, it's either the boots of the watch against my skull, the teeth of the rats on my bones, or the trembles of the plague all over my skin. Don't matter none to me. So he has some medicinal herbs worth 20, and on his shelf some king sparrow feathers worth 10, bringing our total to 847. So let's climb up in this room, get to higher ground, where we find a pouch of 25, one ordinary coin, three ordinary coins, a coin of 5 and a coin of 10, bringing our total to 890. We're almost done with mission 1 now. Let's head down here. You have to be careful in water because sometimes it's infested with critters called hagfish, which are quite dangerous. So over here, there's some copper wire worth 10, bringing our total to 900. Excuse me. Let's climb up here, where we have a Sokolov health elixir and some hemlock essence for another 20, bringing our total to 920. Finally, let's move on out of this room.
Attention, Dunwall citizens. The assassin Corvo, responsible for the murder of our fair Empress and the disappearance of Lady Emily, heir to the throne, has temporarily escaped state custody. Any evidence as to his whereabouts must be delivered to the City Watch at once.
So as you pass this trash bin, note the copper wire inside. Brings our total to 930. And we're out. Don't talk to Samuel yet, though. There's...
Over here. Quickly, I'm a friend.
There's loot to find out in the water, but we have to be careful of hagfish. You can see them in here, and it's also noteworthy there's not really anything we can do about them. So open the chest for a Perth metal and some powdered crystal, which will bring our total to 1,010 coins. And sure enough, that means we found everything in the mission. Now, because I took a little damage from those hagfish, I'm going to run back here and refill my health with some of the numerous food items we left behind. And with that, we're back at full health. So now let's sprint on out of here.
I'm Samuel, and I work for some good people who want very much to meet you. Well, they said you'd come out here. I can still hardly believe it. I'll take you to meet them. Just down the river from here.
All right, old man, let's go. All right, here we go. Mission stats. Hostiles killed, 0. Civilians killed, 0. Alarms rung, 0. Dead or unconscious bodies found, 0. Overall chaos, current total, low. Didn't kill anyone. Ghost never detected. Well, when the hell did I get detected? Oh, that's horseshit. Whatever. Probably... I wonder if it counts those stupid hagfish. Because nobody ever spotted me in the prison. I guess they might have spotted me when I was diving toward the sewers, and I didn't even notice. Because no one ever saw me in the sewers either. Anyway, special actions. Discovered the Hermit's room, opened Jelly's safe, and found the sunken treasure. Found runes, 0. Bone charm, 0. Outsider shrine, 0. Sokolov painting, 0. And we found 1,010 of 1,010 coins. That's good enough for me. I'm going to move on because I don't know where I got detected. I feel like that's horseshit. The Hound Pits Pub. Hidden allies. Hidden in an old bar on the river, your new allies have plans to share with you. Meet with the loyalists' inner circle to learn what they've got in mind.
This is the Hound Pits pub, closed for business, half the district marked off as dead from the plague. We're right under the Lord Regent's nose, and he don't know a thing. Of course, if anyone finds out what we're up to, the Watch will break in with swords drawn. And now that you've escaped, the Lord Regent's going to be tearing the city apart. Take you up to meet Admiral Havelock and the rest of the loyalists. The Admiral's a man to be reckoned with. If anyone can help you find that missing girl, Lady Emily, and clear your name, he can.
The Hound Pits Pub. So between missions, we'll actually have interludes here at the Hound Pits. This is the first such interlude. There are 3,164 coins to find. So let's get started. Mission clues updated. Achievement unlocked. Dishonored. Samuel the boatman has smuggled you across the river from Coldridge Prison. He works for an underground movement opposed to the illegal reign of the Lord Regent and has brought you to meet the members of the organization. Meet with the loyalists in the bar. Okay. Let's look at our achievements. We got Dishonored. 2 out of 80, 2%. Complete the intro missions. Very cool. Alright. Samuel's wandering off. We'll talk to him more later. So over here next to the wall, just on the ground, is a Perth cameo worth 50. Let's go back to the boat. So over there you can see some metal wreckage and a boat in the water. Now you can see some hagfish. You can see a hagfish in there. So we need to be careful if we can. And frankly, I'm not sure exactly where I'm trying to go just yet. But I do know that somewhere around here is a crust pearl. Oh, I may have read the directions wrong. looking for this thing, and I don't know where it is. Once I figure out where the damn pearl is, I'm gonna reload and try to avoid the hagfish and go right to it. Wherever this thing is, it's not easy to find. I think I've gone too far over. I think thing one is to get over to this boat. That's not it. From the front of the boat, dive into the water on the right side. And right near the surface, at the edge of a large rock, is a large river crust pearl. Ah, there it is. Okay. Now I know where it is. It's right here, right next to the boat. Alright, good. Whew, that took entirely too long. Sorry about that, but there's another 50. Next. From the back, we can get inside the boat. If we do so, there's an inch-mouth sextant. Worth another 100. We're not done in the water yet, unfortunately. Now, we spotted this earlier. I'm going to see if I can shoot this hagfish. What do you know? It worked. That should clear the way over here to this processed whale oil. Worth another 30. Now we need to get to this little beach tucked away behind this tower. Over here near the bush, there's a chunk of Tyvian ore worth 20. Now we make our way back to Samuel's boat, where we started. And this time we can follow him up the stairs toward the pub. Once we're through the gate, excuse me, hang a right and grab a chunk of Tyvian ore out of this overturned minecart for another 20. From here, go over to these stairs. This little shack is actually Samuel's house. So, let's read Mysteries of Pandysia. Excerpt from a book on the far continent, Pandysia. At the Academy of Natural Philosophy, they speak of the Pandysian continent as a place of wonder where all of life has entwined and blossomed across eons, producing a vibrant ecology unrivaled in the civilized world. The overseers from the Abbey of the Everyman, by contrast, talk of horror and heresies, of cults of sub-men engaged in brutal, perverse rituals. The few who have traveled to the far continent and come back to the Isles, those who have actually touched the soil there, have returned with notes that describe vast deserts, deep jungles, and outlandish creatures that defy belief. Once in a generation, a great effort is mounted to build a colony there in hopes of this someday growing into a port city to rival Dunwall itself. But to date, these attempts have all ended in madness and failure. So in here, there's a coin of 10 next to the mattress, and the Cape of Teeth map on the mattress worth 75. So let's get both of those. Out of here, looking over here, there's another overturned minecart with another chunk of Tyvian ore inside. So let's grab that. So now let's head up this staircase. The Hound Pits, Scudder versus Blackie. From here, we can get onto the railing and then onto this little rooftop where there is some copper wire worth another 10. We don't really need to be sneaking here, so let's head back over to the gate we came through. So you can see this building on the left beside the actual pub. We can't get in there yet, but we can hear some noises. Let's take this opportunity to dialogue with Samuel.
I expect they're hard at work in there. Best join them. They'll help you get whoever really killed the Empress. I'm sure the Admiral is anxious to meet you. It wasn't easy getting you here. I wouldn't hang about if I were you. From what I understand, time's getting short.
Skip the pub for now. The Lord Regent is a shriveled prick and a liar. Let's head through here.
Welcome to the Hound Pit Pub, sir. How may I help?
Hello, sir. I am Wallace, and this is Cecilia. We have been informed of your arrival and will do our best to stay out of your way while you conduct your business.
Yes. Lydia's a servant here as well.
If I may, I am the personal assistant to Lord Pendleton, and one of the senior servants at Pendleton House, as was my father. Now I am entrusted with this house, the home of the loyalists. I have never seen the Admiral fail at any venture. If order can be restored to the city of Dunwall, I believe he can do it. If anyone can get your old life back, it's him. I don't need to tell you, if the authorities investigated this place, we would be hard-pressed to explain ourselves. We brought a few trifles over from Pendleton Manor. A touch of home in these trying times. Your room in the loft should assure your privacy. Lord Pendleton was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, but there was a great shuffling of the aristocratic families. My lord was attacked by vipers from all sides. I understand you were once welcome at court, before the murder. May I say I am relieved to have another man here who knows the courtly world. This building has stood here for over 3 centuries. As long as Lord Pendleton calls it home, I would defend it with my life. I may well have to.
Okay, so we got all his dialogue. We lost Lydia, but that's fine. We can talk to her later. So if we had left from there... Right here is another roll of copper wire worth 10, so let's grab that. And let's spin around and walk down the street next to the pub. Notice to all patrons, in light of the recent and terrible rat plague, this establishment is closed to the general public until further notice. Once the plague has passed, we will happily take your coin again and provide you with nights of debauchery and merriment. Admiral Farley Havelock. Food menu for the month of Nets. Jellied eels, 12 coins. Fresh, not canned. Brined hagfish, 8 coins.
Attention all citizens. Curfew extends from sundown to sunrise unless you are otherwise authorized. Violators will be subject to interrogation and detained when necessary. Remember, the boldest measures are the safest.
Grilled whale, 15 coins. Blood sausage, 11 coins. Pickled quail eggs, 8 coins for 3. Dark bread, 8 coins. Our specialty drinks for your pleasure and ease of mind. Hound Pit's Draft, 6 coins. Mulled cider, 8 coins. Sugared wine, 8 coins. Dunwall brand whiskey, 10 coins. Emerald absinthe, 12 coins. Anyway, report any sickness hiding the plague is punishable by death. There's another Tyvian ore here, worth 20, so grab that. If we then head over to the other side of the street, obey the city watch. Tampering with security devices is punishable by death. Inside this trash bin, there's a bundle of king sparrow feathers worth 10. And we're kind of getting close to the 1 hour mark, but we still have some time, so I'll keep going. So across the street here, note this building with the green awning.
Attention, citizens of Dunwall. The Old Port District has been added to the evacuation list. The weeper count for the month of siege has increased. The Lord Regent has decreed that plague ordinances will remain in effect through the month of rain. Stay alert and stay loyal.
So just kind of stuck in the rocks here. There's a coin of 5. Make sure you get that. Turn around and look at the pub now. Just here on the curb next to this covered whatever is another coin of 5 to grab. Welcome to Hound Pit's, Tavern of Dunwall. Best whiskey of the city, dog fights every evening. Alright. Time now to actually head inside the pub.
River traffic is forbidden from landing in the distillery district.
Let's head through this door next to Samuel.
So it's starting at last, Admiral. We found our man. Even after 6 months in Coldridge Prison, he slipped out like it was nothing.
Yes. Not surprising. He was the personal bodyguard of the Empress. You've heard the stories.
Yes, I have. It still amazes me that someone could get to the Empress and young Lady Emily.
No one knows the real story, Trevor. We all have our suspicions. We'll know the truth in time.
He's strong and quick. But I hope he understands subtlety as well.
This isn't one of your fancy dress parties. The reality is that we need men killed. Have you ever killed a man?
Only with my wit. But it's a fair point as always. He'll be here soon, and I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Okay, that actually isn't the door I wanted to go through. This one is. Turn around and look to the right. There's one well-hidden coin right there next to the door. If we hit this first door on the right, takes us into the distillery.
Do not attempt to house or care for a friend or family member who shows signs of blood on their face and chest area. The only way to help them is to bring them to the City Watch. They will be taken to the flooded district for treatment.
There are 7 coins on top of this barrel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we look on the floor behind it, there's another single coin. And if we head over here toward the brewing vat, there's one other single coin for a total of 9. If we go up the stairs in here, on this shelf, there's some medicinal herbs worth 20.
Attention Dunwall citizens. Be advised, the river crust infestation has spread downriver, as far as the river mouth and flooded district. Do not attempt to approach or destroy a river crust. Any items recovered from doing so are considered state property.
So if we head through this door, we're in the servant quarters. Let's talk to Lydia.
My, you must be Corvo. I am Lydia, at your service. Your room is upstairs and ready. When they told me who it was, well, I thought you'd be older, like the Admiral. I'm sorry it's so dark. We can't risk being seen. It is a bit romantic, though, isn't it? I used to be the hostess here. Oh, I could tell you stories about that, believe me.
We can't pickpocket her, you'll
You
notice.
can call on Cecilia for the more menial tasks. It's what she's suited for. I hope the bed's to your liking. Let me know if you have trouble sleeping.
Alright. Litany on the White Cliff. Excerpt from a series of Overseer invocations by High Overseer Abram Templeton. And I say to you, brothers, it is here that we make our stand as a righteous force against the growing darkness. It is here that we unite against the spirits of the unknown that would drag us screaming into the night, never to return to our homes, to our families. Together we will serve as a rod to those who would stray from the herd for the foggy gray wastes of the outsider. We will burn a bright fire with our virtuous actions so that others will not lose their way. And to those who choose to wander beyond the walls of our homes in far places, we will strike at them swiftly before they whisper to their neighbors, filling their hearts with strangeness and doubt.
Attention Dunwall citizens.
All right.
Lady Emily Caldwin was abducted 6 months ago during her mother's terrible murder. Anyone with information leading to the location or return of the daughter of our beloved late Empress is required to speak to the City Watch at once.
So inside this bathroom, there's a coin of 5 and a bottle of powdered crystal on the shelves for a total of 35. And there are books to read. A Gaffer's Tale, Volume 2. Excerpt from the travel journal of a whaler in his final years. A Gaffer's Tale, Volume 2, or A Gaffer's Final Passage. After more than a quarter of a century, I am done with whaling, too broken to continue. I've seen all the corners of the isles and made more coin than most men see in a lifetime, but it's all gone. I've lived through an emperor and watched his daughter take the throne, fair young empress she was, but slain so young. Everything beautiful comes to die. I've eaten in every port of the known world and sailed in the loneliest waters you could imagine. I've seen the cliffs around Pandyssia. Even the best of it doesn't give me an ounce of joy. The years come back across my dreams as a line of butchered bodies, long, sleek, and singing among the waves under the moonlight, only to be speared by ugly, weather-scarred men who'd knife each other for a good pair of boots. Each year I had less time to come home. My tongue forgot the language of small chatter, and those who lived in the cities thought me odd. My sister Nina hardly knew what to say to me during our visits. When she lost her business to the Lord Regent's crooked barrister, I was 100 miles east of Morley, gaff hand frozen from the sleet as we tracked the first bull whale we'd seen in months. I helped her as much as I could, but Nina died in the early days of the plague. None of it mattered. If I'm jaded and bitter, it's because this industry has taken away my dreams. The world has beaten me. The Shadow on Bitterleaf. Excerpt from a longer work of fiction. Finding my way by the feeble light of the dying fire, I saw her working. A large needle moved in her hand, following precise esoteric patterns, knots and loops of seamstress craft from ancient days. Beneath her needle, his body clenched and shuddered, shaking the wooden table. A morbid fascination pushed me closer, until she turned her blank face toward me, resting the needle in his flesh. With a refined tone, she addressed me. "So you are the lover, I presume. You too have been unfaithful, and it is now your turn to be mended." And the Young Prince of Tyvia. Excerpt from a theater play. Lord Nathan Bale, shaking with outrage. "How dare you, sir, clothed so in my very home? I should hand you over to the watch, depraved Tyvian." Prince Calasar, moving closer. "That's a harsh welcome for royalty, my lord. Your daughter treated me with much more hospitality. Alas, she has gone out for the evening, leaving me all alone." Lord Nathan Bale, stammering, studying the younger man before him. "What are you doing? Leave this house. Go back to your frozen wasteland, pale rascal." Prince Calasar, smiling coyly, reaching out. "No need for anger between us, Lord Bale. Is it so wrong for me to be here? As I've proven, I've developed an affinity for you and your family." Lord Nathan Bale, gasping. "Oh my, Calasar, your skin is so warm, it burns." Alrighty. We're done in here. Let's head back into the servants' quarters. As we look around, there's a pouch of 5 coins here on the bed, and a coin of 5 on the shelf there for a total of 10. We head out here. There's Wallace. In this hallway.
Attention all citizens.
We can go into
Curfew extends
202.
from sundown to sunrise unless you are otherwise authorized. Violators will be subject to interrogation and detained when necessary. Remember, the boldest measures are the safest.
So we got the pub master room key here. There's another copy of A Gaffer's Tale Volume 2. Let's read Havelock Log Entry 1. It has been days since our men were dispatched to stash weapons for Corvo in the old sewer. They have not returned, so I can only hope that they succeeded in getting the packages delivered. Piero spent considerable time and resources making those things. If I could find a way to mass-produce them, the Dunwall Navy would secure its place as the dominant force on the globe. But back to Corvo. Can he actually break out of Coldridge, and if so, will he make his way here? I personally give him odds of 1 in 5. Audiograph.
Log entry 1-4. Seems we have moved to a new phase. Martin's improvisations have borne fruit. The former bodyguard has been freed and is en route to the staging location. The Pendleton's voting block and my military connections. All we've lacked is the ability to project lethal force in a controlled manner against a previously inaccessible... to the point, we need a man who can kill the bastards for us. Corvo is more than capable of that, I have no doubt. End log. Is this off? Switch. Switch, where the hell is it?
Alright. Admiralty and the Fleet. Excerpt from a book on naval history. While each of the Isles has some form of naval fleet, none is more envied than that of Bristol, with its long, proud history of great ships and the admirals who command them. Boys come of age in the cities of Bristol hoping to someday captain such a ship, and family dynasties are made by those captains who track down infamous pirates or crush seditious uprisings, as during the Morley insurrection. In times of war and peace, Bristol continues to innovate at sea. The ship designs of Anton Sokolov himself now represent the highest standard in the whaling trade, allowing crews to haul their kill up over the deck and begin their butchery and processing, even as the ship returns to Dunwall. The crews can be seen working on their latest whale as the ship moves slowly up the Wrenhaven River, coming to dock with one of the powerful warehouse companies such as the Greaves Whaling House. Suspended in the rigging overhead and backlit by the setting sun, the silhouette of one of these creatures makes a moving sight as it cruises to its final resting place in the industrial heart of the capital city. Underneath his bed is a pouch of 25 coin. Here's a Gaffer's Tale Volume 1. Excerpt from the travel journal of a young whaler, A Gaffer's Tale Volume 1, or A Gaffer's Early Adventures. My sister Nina and I left Tyvia together, saying goodbye to our aunt, the woman who had raised us since childhood. Leaving behind our home city of Yarrow and the cold but beautiful white landscapes we had always known, we boarded a ship for Dunwall. Our parents had left us with a sizable inheritance, and we spent half of this getting to the capital city and establishing a small import shop dedicated to Tyvian furs. Once I'd helped Nina establish the business, I was free to pursue my dream. Signing on with a whaling ship was the most exciting thing I'd ever done, and I saw it as a means to an end. Someday I would captain my own crew and eventually own a fleet of similar vessels. With tears in her eyes, Nina kissed me farewell, and I did not see her again for many months. As an apprentice to the gaffer, I got to see the tracking and killing of the great beasts up close. Nothing had ever fired my spirit so as the wind and pounding waves, racing after a wounded whale being pulled by a skein of cables embedded in its thick flesh. I changed more in those first 7 months than I had in the previous 7 years. Whaling was beginning to put its mark on me, so that Nina barely recognized me when I returned, tanned and sinewy with muscle, weather creases already wrinkling the corners of my eyes. But she could see that I was filled with joy, having found my purpose. And inside Havelock's trunk is a bottle of processed whale oil worth another 30. So let's grab that. Let's just keep going. Room 201 is Lord Pendleton's room, who we haven't met yet. Let's look around. Underneath his bed is an inch-mouth decor plate, worth 100. Inside the trunk, there's a pouch of 50 coins. Across the room, there is some powdered crystal worth 30, and we have an audiograph to listen to.
My furnishings have been installed at last with no small amount of complaining by that antiquated boatman. The others have no idea what it's like to suffer as I have. Speaking of which... Wallace! Please breathe 2 bottles of Dunwall Red, never mind which, and fetch a clean glass. Well, I'll begin again tomorrow.
Alright. So now we get to the stairway. We want to go up first, all the way to the top. 3rd floor is blocked off. We head up here. We find Cecilia.
The Admiral served in the Navy under the Empress. But something happened with the Lord Regent that drove the Admiral out. If I understand it right. Admiral Havelock made it very clear that we aren't to carry lamps outside. Maybe you haven't seen much of it, but the city has changed a great deal after the Empress died. Since the Lord Regent took over, the city watch is best avoided. Most people try not to go outside at all. We can't leave the pub. I've nowhere to go anyway. My apartment was in the flooded district.
So let's hop out the window onto this catwalk leading over to this tower. We head out here, just on the corner of this ledge. There's a coin of 10 to grab. Inside the tower, there's a bottle of powdered crystal worth 30, and a book, The Trials of Aptitude, excerpt from a book on the esoteric practices of the Abbey. Once a child shows the proper inclination, he is Oh, we've read this already. There was a copy in Coldridge Prison. The Fugue Feast, excerpt from a book on the celebrations and holidays. At the end of every year, after the last day of the month of songs, we begin the Fugue Feast. The new year has not started, and thus the time that follows is outside the calendar. A period of celebration and feasting begins, during which the people abandon the very practices that keep them whole and healthy over the year. Many leave their homes euphoric with spirits or potent herbs. Some paint their faces or wear masks to conceal themselves as they pursue their passions without reservation. When the right cosmological signs are observed and it is time for the calendar to begin anew, the sitting High Overseer calls for the hymn of atonement and the Fugue Feast ends. Families return to their homes, wives to their husbands. Enemies put down their weapons and fires are extinguished. No complaint is given for those who have wronged others, deviated from ancient codes, or discarded oaths, for this time during the astrological alignment does not exist and is not recorded. The following day starts the new year, marked on the first day of the month of Earth, as it has always been. Interesting. And over here, Call to the Spheres, Volume 1. Excerpt from a work of fiction, early chapters. My stomach twisted as the engines of the odd vessel roared louder. It was the creation of Orchado, third prefect from the Academy of Natural Philosophy. He was exhilarated, savoring each of the small craft's undulations. Orchado pulled a lever and a great gout of smoke surrounded us. The smell of burning whale oil grew unbearable as the machine propelled itself upward. I was too afraid to look through the window, which suddenly didn't feel thick enough. As if knowing my thoughts, Overseer Bryn looked at me and smiled. Recite some of the litany, my pupil. It will protect your heart from the turpitude of the void on our way to the outer spheres. With that, we'll head back to the main pub building. If we head through here, this is the loft bedroom that's been mentioned as belonging to Corvo. Underneath this kitchen counter, there's a coin of 10. And over here, there is another coin of 10, just past the bed.
Attention, citizens of Dunwall. The Old Port District has been added to the evacuation list. The Weeper count for the month of siege has increased. The Lord Regent has decreed that plague ordinances will remain in effect through the month of rain. Stay alert and stay loyal.
So just past Corvo's room, there's a medicinal herb worth 20. Let's grab that. If we head through this door, we wind up outside. If we go down these stairs, we're on the roof of the distillery. If we look left from here, you can just see some processed whale oil, which we are able to sprint jump to and pick up. That's another 30. Now with that done, I want to go back the way I came if I can. Doesn't look like that's going to work, but that's okay.
River traffic is forbidden.
Harpooner songs. Excerpt from a book of sea shanties sung by sailors. What will we do with the drunken whaler? What will we do with the drunken whaler? What will we do with the drunken whaler early in the morning? Feed him to the hungry rats for dinner. Feed him to the hungry rats for dinner. Feed him to the hungry rats for dinner early in the morning. Way hey and up she rises. Way hey and up she rises. Way hey and up she rises early in the morning. Slice his throat with a rusty cleaver. Slice his throat with a rusty cleaver. Slice his throat with a rusty cleaver early in the morning. Stuff him in a sack and throw him over. Stuff him in a sack and throw him over. Stuff him in a sack and throw him over early in the morning. Way hey and up she rises. Way hey and up she rises. Way hey and up she rises early in the morning. If I wasn't sick, I might try to sing it, but
Landing in the distillery district due to risk of infectious contact. Violators will be taken to the flooded district for treatment and rehabilitation.
So now let's head down to the bottom floor here in the main stairwell. And let's climb down this chain into a little basement. So we go down here, between these two furnaces, there's another whale oil, worth 30. And there's another whale oil underneath the catwalk, worth another 30. Let's grab those. Back up the chain. We're finally ready to enter the actual bar.
We can continue this later, Lord Pendleton.
Oops.
The man of the hour is here. Corvo, I'm Admiral Havelock, a true servant of the Empire, like you. Until the Lord Regent purged those of us who wouldn't recognize his claim on the throne.
And I'm Lord Trevor Pendleton. I represent the nobility in our little group. But we all act as equals here at the Hound Pits pub.
This is a momentous occasion, Corvo. I'm going to come out with it. We've been building a coalition of loyalists, aimed at ending the Lord Regent's tyranny and restoring the throne.
At risk of execution, we're committed to finding young Lady Emily and seeing her crowned as Empress.
We've got big plans, but we can't do any of it without you. We need your skills, your ability in a fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
Sorry, you must be exhausted. We can discuss this further after you've recovered. But before you retire, you should introduce yourself to Piero. He's challenging at times, but his industrious mind buys him that right.
All right.
Yes. Piero's as much an artist as a technician. He's going to be crafting the gear you'll need.
Piero is an inventor who is available to craft and upgrade equipment. Piero spends most of his time in his workshop.
Go talk to him, and then get some sleep. We can talk more when you've rested.
Okay, let's talk to Pendleton.
Pleased to meet you, Master Corvo. I saw you at court in happier days, but you might not remember. I was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, Hiram Burroughs, back when he was just the spy master. He's one manipulative bastard, I can tell you that. There's something distinguished about you, Corvo. Was there nobility back in your family line? I wouldn't be surprised. Did you know I'm distant kin to the late Empress and her line? Not close enough, sadly. I'll never be Emperor. Most of the nobility went straight over to the Lord Regent's side after the Empress died. Easiest thing to do. But to me, a noble birth requires a sense of loyalty. This city has fallen into ruin since the plague struck. These poor weepers moaning and bleeding from the eyes. They say there's no cure for the plague once it advances that far. Terrible.
Alright, that's it for him. Let's go ahead and dialogue with Havelock now.
Good to have you with us, Corvo. Nothing against the others, but there's no substitute for a man who's done his service for the crown.
Attention, Dunwall citizens.
Have you talked to Piero yet?
Emily Caldwell was
He made the
abducted
weapons
6
we
months
left
ago
for you on your
during
way
her
out of
mother's
Coleridge
terrible
Prison.
murder.
Go see
Anyone
him when
with
you can.
information leading to the
You don't know what it
location
means
or
to work
return
with a
of the
man
daughter
who
of
stood
our
at the
beloved
Empress's
late
right
Empress
hand.
is required
We
to
can't bring her
speak to the
back,
City Watch
but
at once.
at least we have the man she trusted most. And maybe we can help you right some of the wrongs done to you. This bar is mine, but please, treat it as your home. Piero still wants a word with you. He's not a diplomat, but he's a brilliant man. Samuel is a blessing. Without him, we couldn't navigate the waters of the river at night. We keep our lights low to avoid prying eyes. What I wouldn't give to be back at sea. I told them I'd be damned if I sail under a usurper's flag. You should have seen their faces. Curse the Lord Regent. I might have taken to piracy after the Navy, but then inspiration struck me, and I started assembling our little group here. The Empire was built on its Navy. Never forget that. I served proudly
Attention all
until
citizens.
bureaucrats took over.
Curfew extends from
Pendleton's a
sundown
good
to
man.
sunrise,
Used to be close to
unless
that
you are
snake, the Lord
otherwise
Regent
authorized.
himself.
Violators
Don't be
will
fooled by
be
the fact that
subject to
Pendleton's a noble.
interrogation and detained when
Not all of them
necessary.
are terrible.
Remember,
I bought
the
this bar years
boldest
ago.
measures are
There were some
the
happy
safest.
times here before the plague hit the city. Before the Empress was killed and everything went to shit.
Alright, now we can clean out the bar. So there's a coin of 10 here underneath these spigots. Grab that. So there's a bottle of hemlock essence here. And just around the other side, there's a bottle of powdered crystal. That's a total of 50. Still inside. Here in the last booth, underneath it, there's a coin of 10 and a coin of 5 for a total of 15. Now if we head back outside, it's time to visit Piero, but we have been going, I think, about an hour and 20 minutes now. So it's time to save and end this episode. Alright everybody, this has been Let's Play Dishonored. We escaped the Dunwall sewers and we have made our way to the Hound Pits pub, where we're slowly exploring and looting and meeting people and progressing the storyline. Next time, we'll continue with the interlude. We'll start off by heading into Piero's workshop, where we can meet him, chat with him, and continue looting the pub. Until then, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my videos, please consider clicking an ad, liking, sharing, or subscribing, any or all of which will really help me out. Regardless, please know that I really do appreciate the time you spend watching, and hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.